them adrenaline shots. The penicillin could not.
Wow, I'm like Michelle, but one of the great things that I like about being a poet is no matter how dope you feel you are, how hot you feel you spit, you come in and hear somebody else and it's like, wow, that's some of the wildest shit I've ever heard, and it's just so inspiring. So I want to say, you know, big up to all the other poets here tonight for inspiring me. I know I'm going to scribe some good stuff. This piece that I'm about to do is called Good Intentions. So just remember that while you hear me spit. Good are my intentions. I have a map to the next dimension. The path was laid by the Lord's ascension. This is more than an honorable mention. It's a testimony masquerading as a poem just to grab your attention. Maybe then you'll stop saluting the polluting of your spiritual pension. Yes, thoughts of retiring from this world are met with great apprehension. Except from those who made a proper investment into a nest egg, a sacrifice, a tithing, an offering, or a total submission to the fact that he is the only one who can bring the dead back. Now, I might have just made a few minds shut down, and it might have been from a couple shots of Jack, but somebody might be thinking they'd rather focus on the ladies in the corner and how they might be able to make their eyes roll back, or they might be focusing on the fly dude and wondering how high his paper can stack, or if the ladies saw the Escalade written on the side of their Cadillac, or if their ice is thick enough to make the Titanic crack. But that was just a couple points I was trying to make, so I'm about to reflect on that. Because the culture seems to portray those with heavenly dreams as people with meager means, questionable self-esteem, so they latch upon this spiritual being that they've never seen. Now y'all about to witness a real life testimony. Because this Almighty on my arm is just a charm providing me with the means to tell time. This ice on my finger is a symbol of the covenant I have with that woman in the white that I'll be giving orgasms to in about an hour and a half. Wow. I don't buy American cars, so a Cadillac I don't have, but our white Armada is clean, we just gave it a bath. A poem performed about sex at an open mic is usually met with the crowd's delight. But if you try mentioning Jesus, sometimes you can feel the pause. I do this for a cause, so please spare me the polite gospel song at the Apollo applause. We do less to build belief in Jesus than we do in Santa Claus. Maybe because the one calls our actions into question while the fictitious others help us hide our flaws. Why is it so cool to promote sin and taboo to promote salvation just makes me laugh, because living off of faith has served me well, and while all of us don't do it, I just can't seem to grasp. Though, I have a theory. Since man can touch cards, cash, and clothes, and the Lord barely offers ads, it's easy to just accept our senses perception. But if you just exercise your mind and read the word, you realize this is just part of the enemy's deception. And I am fortunate enough to have had an immaculate reflection. Before Two Mary sang about the God in me, I was well on my way to its detection. But I stand before you claiming no part of perfection. I am just a poet, using words for projection. Though first I am a Christian, using the word for protection. I have a mind that fuses words for creation, though I am a believer using the word for salvation. And I am a man and poetry is my passion, but I'm also a human seeking life everlasting. I once was a child just learning to spell the word, but now I'm a pupil studying the power within the word. It was his breath of life that converted my mother's uterus into a womb instead of a tomb. So I reject temptation like fruit from the tree of knowledge and good and evil and refuse to consume. I can't foretell the coming of the last days, but when it arrives, I won't be amazed. Because I read the book of Revelations 3 times, and it's not filled with all doom and gloom, though many of us, unfortunately, will just be left to assume. And the reason only 144,000 is going to get home, because even though Jesus came to show man the way, man continued to choose a path of his own. But I choose to believe in one God, the Father Almighty, the maker of heaven and earth, of all that is seen and unseen, who was one of us until he gave it up, so in the Father's eyes we would no longer be unclean. And I would have to hate all mankind to not share my knowledge of the divine, blocking my brothers and sisters' opportunity to drink of the covenant's new wine. And I'm done putting forth nebulous pieces on minuscule topics. I'm putting my faith to work and living with purpose, only performing pieces to make you focus. And with my work, if I'm unable to change one life, give one individual the ammunition to survive their test, prepare one person to avoid the traps laid by the enemy, hopefully it would allow me to stand upright on my last day before God and hear him say, "Servant, I am pleased with thee. My son, you've done your best. Now take your rest." Place your head upon my breastplate and welcome to my kingdom, because you left the life of work behind you, and hopefully it will bring enough to bring them. Peace.
Church, give it up for IQ. Keeping it mad funky. Woo! PoeticWorks.com in New York. That's what it